I say the difference between I've got an internet company that can make you millions and scale and grow you.
100%.
I tell people 3 questions you want to ask anybody you're going to get advice for. For anybody that's never been through the process, most of sales processes fail.
People don't understand. I run a coaching group where I coach entrepreneurs. I get 80 people that own mid-market sized businesses. I tell them that all the time. They think that they could just bring the market to sell it at any given time and make all this money. I'm like, 90-something% of businesses that ever go to market fail because you're not ready, you're not prepared, you don't understand what you're dealing with, and you're dealing with the most sophisticated business people on planet Earth. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Those guys in those private equity companies were significantly smarter than I was. And thank God I had the help and the team with me to navigate that process. I mean, that process, I decided to sell the business in March of 2021, and we closed in December. It was a 10-month process. Yep. And it was every waking minute of the day for 10 months.
And the quality of earnings audits, the going under the
QV,
covers,
the due diligence.
You're having somebody who's been through that, who can organize the business before it happens.
We did, we with the guidance and the team that we put together, which was my partner Joe, myself, and then the other thing that people don't understand is incredibly important is your advisory group. And we had the right investment banker, we had the right M&A legal team, we had the right tax people, and we had the right group. We were able to create such a competitive process for that business that we went out to a buyer list of 100-something people. We received like 40 indication IOIs, they call them, indication of interest. Hey, we've looked at your deck, we're interested. Here's a range of valuation that we believe your company falls under. And then we narrowed that down and took LOIs from like the top 15. And then we took management meetings from 9 out of the 15 groups. We dismissed 6.
I just want everybody to listen to this, because here's the thing. I tell this to people. I don't know that they believe me, but I'm going to repeat it. I say the difference between I've got an internet company that can make you millions and scale and grow you.
100%.
I tell people 3 questions you want to ask anybody you're going to get advice for. Question number 1, what's the most amount of money you've ever made in a year? Question number 2, what's the biggest thing you personally have ever built, quantified by revenues, number of employees, and profitability? And question 3, what's the biggest exit you've ever had in your life? Because I've seen people build $100 million businesses to only get 10 or 15 million, and I've seen people build $30 million businesses like me who got 150 million. So I want to learn from the ones that actually engineered it the best, right? So I tell people, the truth is, when somebody has done something, they never forget it. Like you're talking about something that happened in the past.
Sure.
True or false, when you go through the grind and you're in those moments wondering, is this going to close? Is it not going to close? Oh, we should have crossed that T. Oh, that I didn't get dotted. Oh, that person that I didn't get a release from is going to sneak back and try to get a piece of the deal now and leverage me. Like when you go through it, you never forget.
Yeah.
Like you said, I remember my first employee I hired, and now you're talking about the transaction and the micro details. That's how you flesh out. The more detail somebody can give you, it means they actually did it. And this is true when you're trying to hire leadership and they're like, oh, I built a company from 10 million to 100 million. I know all about it. And you're like, great. Talk to me about the year you did 10. What did you do next? And what did you do next? And if they can't tell you, they didn't do it.
That's right.
They weren't that close to it.
100%.
I love this conversation because, man, it's like looking through a microscope, right? And you and I have been through that colonoscopy without getting put under.
Yeah.
Because you're wide awake while it's going on.
To finish what I was saying, we successfully managed to bring that down to 2 groups. And we didn't award exclusivity to both of those groups until they both had finished due diligence in the business. And so that was just an unbelievably masterful technique that I can't take full credit for as a part of it. And so we had to reimburse the runner-up, the person we left at the altar, a portion of their fees, and if we didn't go with them. But we got through the process.
That's money well spent, by the way.
Money well spent, because the entire time they're looking for leverage. And so we kept leverage. We kept them in a competitive process until 7 days before we closed.
I try to tell business owners, like, they're like, oh no, I got my guy. I'm like, you're already screwed.
You're already screwed. You're so screwed. I got a guy in my coaching program. He's already tried to sell the business one time and had a failed process, and it was too strategic. It's in the food and beverage industry. And they came back in the process. I'm like, this isn't for us. And they left it alone. Stuck come with $1 million bag of fees, QV, legal, etc. Right? And he came back whooped. And that was about a year ago. And now recently he's like, no, this other strategic, they want to buy me. No, you don't understand. They're serious about it. And I'm like, buddy, do you know what an off-market deal is? Do you understand what? Yeah. Why do people like off-market deals? Well, because it's not competitive and you can get it for a good price. So what do you think you are right now? You know what I mean? And I cringe at anyone that's going to sell a business in most situations that isn't going to take it out for a competitive process.
Those guys, you don't want to pay fees. They're being cheap.
Yeah.
They got it all figured out. This is the problem with entrepreneurs that have had a little bit of success. They think they've got it all figured out.
They don't have the first clue.
And that's why 90% of those deals fail, or they get so crammed down on at the end and they're looking at that initial check, they give their business away.
Yeah, because they've spent the money before they get it.
That's right.
And they get starstruck. They see stars, and becoming a chief executive officer, a builder of businesses, a strategy guy that can build something that commands that much value was one skill set. Almost, I would say equally as difficult and equally as different was a skill set of becoming a guy that could package that business and successfully sell it. And the problem is that most CEOs or business owners, entrepreneurs, founders that I've dealt with, they don't understand that they're not well equipped for this process just because they've successfully built a business. This is an entirely different animal.